Welcome to this video from the Green Screen Project, which is funded by Interreg Europe and works across 8 countries over 5 years to improve policies and achieve measurable success in reducing the carbon footprint of the film and TV industries. My name is Wendy Mitchell. I'm a film journalist, and today we are joined by Paul Evans, who is co-founder of Greenshoot. And he's going to talk to us a little bit about how they work with the Green Screen Environmental Program, which they partner on with Film London. So for those of you who don't know, Paul's going to tell us much more, but the Green Screen Environmental Program is an online tool that lets producers set their own environmental targets, gives them an action plan to help achieve those goals. In addition to Film London and Greenshoot, it is supported by the London Filming Partnership and London's Borough Film Services. So welcome, Paul. First of all, before we talk about this Green Screen program, can you tell us what Greenshoot is? This is your sustainability consultancy company?
It is, yeah. Hi, Wendy. Thanks for the intro. Yeah, Greenshoot is was in 2009 the first company of its kind. We are 4 people from the production industries who, at that stage, had become quite disillusioned with the way that our industry behaved towards the environment. So we decided to do something about it. So we understood production intimately, of course, but our knowledge of environmental best practice was not particularly proficient. So we took courses in environmental management, ISO 14001, which is a system that is traditionally used for fixed businesses. So we applied these processes to production. So this has never been done before. So it was a brave new world. And we began our first feature film, our very first production was Sherlock Holmes Game of Shadows, which is in 2010, which Robert Downey Jr. was the director of. And he was very much in favor of making that production the first sustainable production. So for us, that was a great training ground. We worked with the production for 6 months and implemented a whole bunch of strategies and learnt how to make a production more carbon efficient, more sustainable, without getting in the way of the production filming process. So that is how it began. And following Sherlock Holmes, we did several other films over the years, including Fast and Furious 6. We worked with the BFI on their productions and refined our processes and our programs to make sure that it was, first of all, a very simple program, and secondly, very effective. But we are, as production people ourselves, very aware that productions are time poor. So we had to make sure that the program that we implemented was very time efficient in terms of producers, as they're getting ready for, they're prepping their production, that they can begin to implement the environmental strategies.
Great. And so this is a program. How would you say it's evolved? I mean, because obviously you've had learnings while people have been shooting, because I think, is it more than 500 films and TV series have gone through this program? Is that right?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, the next step that we took was in 2014 when we became Film London's sustainable production partners. Now, Film London had been very ahead of the game because in 2008 they had initiated a program called Green Screen. So we partnered them and came on board with Green Screen, and then initiated the sustainable production platform that is Green Screen. So this has never been done before. And because, you know, our original ambition was always about education. You know, it was about sharing ideas and best practice with productions to spread the word, to help our production, our industry become more sustainable. So the best way to achieve that, of course, was using the beauty of the internet. So we built in early 2016 the Green Screen Sustainable Production Platform in conjunction with Film London. And that is a program that exists still to this day. Every production conforms to a number of mandatories. Every production has a report written, it is audited and is hopefully certified if it achieves the correct level. So this way it became an evidence-based process, because prior to that, sustainability was something that appeared to be a bit nebulous. So what we wanted was a permanent record on what was achieved on every production. So we've had now nearly 800 productions have been certified through the program. And those range from, student films to commercials to Netflix shows to Amazon shows to right through to the Crown. So it's essentially a program that demands certain mandatories of productions. They need to conform. Originally in 2016, we had 3 mandatories. We now have 12. And I think that's a measure of the progress over the years, is that we demand more from productions to achieve the correct level and to acquire that certification. And we've also implemented 3 levels. Sustainability is predicated on continual improvement. So you create a benchmark, you then raise that benchmark, you raise that level the next time that you shoot and see what else you can do to keep moving, to keep increasing your level of sustainability. So the initial program launched in 2016 was the green level, which is used very successfully, which had 3 mandatories. As I say, we have 12 now. So productions have risen in terms of their best practice. And also there's been a massive societal shift, obviously, in the last 2 or 3 years, whereby sustainability is something that people are far more aware of. They're more willing to engage with. And to give people that challenge, we've implemented the silver level. So green 2016, silver level was introduced in 2019. We trialed that on The Crown, on season 3 of The Crown, and that has proved very successful. It's more demanding than the green level. It requires quite a lot of work in terms of prep and getting all departments engaged with the program. And now, currently, The Crown is shooting season 5. We are trialing the gold level, which is essentially full sustainability. So we are working with them until they finish shooting early next year to understand the way that the gold level can work, and to achieve that across the board sustainability, which involves the economic, the social, and the environmental. So the 3 pillars of sustainability will be covered in the gold level.
Wow, I hope many more people can go for that gold. That sounds really impressive and really making a difference in this industry and society. Can you tell us some of the practical tools that are there to help people? You've got guides or crew memos that people can use as templates and that kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we knew early on from working on those early feature films that communication was absolutely key. And everybody connected with the production has to know that it's a sustainable production, because of course, for the program to be successful, you need everybody to get on board. So we initiated, as part of the program, a process as part of registration is creating what's called a green screen crew memo. So that memo goes on the first day's call sheet. So that outlines exactly what the environmental ambitions of the production are. So for everybody connected with the production, they will know what is demanded of them. And these practicalities that are implemented in terms of crew engagement, it's quite small, but it is vital that everybody gets, as I say, gets on board with the program. And that crew memo also sits in the resources section of the website, where we have green crew guides, which are done by department, which are more sustainability tips and information that are relevant to each department. So whether you're in locations, you're in lighting, you're in hair and makeup, there's a whole bunch more tips and information that you can implement into your department. And that's been a great way of spreading the word. We've also had, Wendy, what was one of the catalysts for us starting in all those years ago was the amount of waste that was produced from productions. So that involves obviously the recycling, the composting that we introduced on Sherlock Holmes, that has carried on, but also in terms of production assets. And the 4 of us, were all equally kind of shocked at the way that we'd all been on so many productions, and there'd been perfectly decent things left at the end, i.e. food, props, wardrobe, clothes or whatever it was. And most of the time back then, those items, no one knew what to do with them. And it was all a little bit of embarrassing. So we used to just put them in the skip, and the production would pay to have those items taken away, which to us seemed pretty crazy. So on Sherlock Holmes, we initiated this program where we became a conduit between productions and charities. And so anything that was left over that was reusable, we gave it a second life by getting in touch with charities and then getting those items to them. So over the years, we've donated thousands and thousands of pounds worth of items previously, as I say, the production would have paid to have taken away in a skip. And that has been carried on, that process, by virtue of one of the mandatories in the green screen program is the presence of a green steward. So every green screen production has a green steward on set. That person there is to oversee the environmental program, but also be the person that handles that process of passing any production assets that are left at the end onto charities on RAM. And that has become, that educational part of that program has become very important. You know, essentially the green stewards that we train are new entrants to the industry. So for the last 10 years, we've been doing that. And actually what we're finding, of course, is that we are future-proofing the industry. You know, we are training people who are starting out in their careers. So these people will become, and actually some of them now who were trained 10 years ago are now production managers or maybe even producers who only actually know one way to shoot because they were educated very early on in their careers as to how to shoot sustainably. So that's the only way they know. So there's been a real virtue in that training program, which we continue today. And actually we work in conjunction with the Equal Access Network, which was set up by Sadiq Khan. And that is training people from diverse backgrounds who have no connection to the production industry whatsoever. So we train them and then we help get them started in the industry by placing them on productions.
That's great. And in addition to wanting to go through this program because it's probably the right thing to do, I mean, are there other benefits to sort of getting, you know, a green or a silver sort of stamp on your production, or is it mostly just something that we all know we need to do and this helps you do it? Or are there other benefits to going through the program?
I think, well, initially, you know, 10 years ago, the people that were motivated to engage, you know, had that environmental imperative. But of course, as we know, things have changed fundamentally the last few years. So people are now engaging and their motive perhaps is slightly different, which doesn't matter. And it could be, you know, a corporate diktat that says actually the company that is making this, you know, the product that's been advertised in this commercial is being made by a company that is predicated on sustainability and it is made sure that every area of its company, of its corporation and its supply chain, its diversity, its employment policy is you know, fitting to a contemporary sustainability policy. So that needs to extend throughout the company. So this really started picking up 3 or 4 years ago when corporations were looking at their productions and realizing that perhaps they weren't being made in a sustainable way. So the drivers, I think, vary from people to people. I mean, you know, some people have always had that pure kind of environmental motivation that says, well, we should be doing this. You know, why would we not do this? Because actually implementing these processes is hardly a huge commitment from a production. But, you know, it's changing the way that people work, which I guess is why we're still here 11 years later banging the drum, is that it takes a long time to change the way that people do their job, which is essentially what we're asking. But as I said, there's been a massive acceleration the past couple of years. And we're seeing all kinds of reasons why people need to, you know, to get on board with the program.
So I mean, I loved hearing that this is for anything from student films right up to The Crown. So if people want to learn more or people want to sign up, how do they learn more? Is there a website they can go to?
Yeah, absolutely. If they go to greenshoot.com, there is a link there through to the Green Screen platform. The Green Shoot website will give them all the information they need in terms of sustainable production, in terms of the training program, in terms of carbon. So, you know, of course now, as opposed to even 5 years ago, carbon was rarely mentioned. It is now the kind of, you know, the great devil that we're all facing. And productions have now become far more carbon aware. So it's, you know, what is our production going to emit? So this has become a far more important criteria of the process. We actually initiated in 2011, we built our filming specific carbon calculator, which at the time was, I think, probably the first one to be done. And that is still in use today, but it's being far busier today because carbon has become something that productions are incredibly aware of as a byproduct of their actions. And just to mention the Crown, for example, we have actually been retrospectively offsetting their previous seasons. So we have all the data from seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4. We've calculated the carbon footprint, and we have offset for them those seasons. So those seasons have acquired a carbon neutrality, which is, you know, going to become the kind of the production phrase, if you like, moving forward, whereby productions, by offsetting, can achieve that carbon neutrality status. So obviously, the ideal scenario is that the productions do as much as possible in prep to mitigate their carbon, however they do that. So whether that's, you know, the two heavy hitters in production are travel and energy. So not much travel at the moment, so that's a little bit easier. Energy, you know, energy can be down to something as prosaic as making sure the studio shooting is actually getting its power from renewables. So these are all things that we advise on that are all part of the program. So when you sign up for Green Screen, you know, you are led through the program. So we're not simply an Excel spreadsheet. We are actually, and always have been, because we are filmmakers. Then when we are engaged by a production, we are with them from the beginning, from prep throughout the production process and during post as well. So, you know, we have always been a kind of an advisory service, if you like, a way that productions can engage with us, ask us questions as they go through the program, and know that they're always going to be looked after on their sustainability journey.
Wonderful. Keep up the good work, Paul. Thanks for joining us today. And yeah, we hope many more productions can learn all about this Green Screen program and sign up. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Wendy. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.